about your biological dad or someone that stepped in your life, taking the place of him, please join this anthology. We're accepting authors right now.
This is by no means a criticism. Understand, it's by no means. But I noticed that every end result ended up with my husband, my special friend, or whatever. And I'm feeling a little, like that's the end game. Is it having a husband? Is it having a man in your life? Is that the end game? Because that seems where it was going on a lot of the story.
So let me just say this.
Pretty much, it's not a criticism.
No. Let me just say this to you. The first book is entitled, oh, he took it down. It's called Daddy's Girl, The Ultimate Covering. That book was 8 of us authors sharing our stories about our relationships with or without our fathers in our life. And so the father is the first man that a woman falls in love with, supposedly anyway, right? We are his seed. But there are some men that walk away from their daughter. They walked away from their seed. And so as women, we're good. We can go get education, we got jobs, we can dress it up, we wear the mask very well. It's time to take the mask off, honey. Because let me tell you something. The real you needs to step up and stand out so God can heal you. Because he can't heal you behind that mask. So let me tell you, that book was about, the end result is that even if you didn't have a father in your life, you are daddy's girl because the ultimate father got you covered, right? He's the one that comes into your life, healed, and even if you don't desire to be married, guess what? He is the man that you're gonna make love to and do everything else with, the ultimate cover, because he's your creator. He knows everything. He said, before I formed you, I knew you. Right? So, no, it's not all about that. This is just the second book that we're sharing about the waiting game, about, being on this journey and waiting on the mate that God has for us. So the Daddy's Girl Project, it's really about the ultimate father, the ultimate daddy, the creator, the one that created all of us, that's in control of all of us and everything, right? So, and let me just say, only 5 of us on here is married. 3 of us, one is, as Jamila said, they're not married yet, but that's her, of course, Beyonce, they're almost, but two of the authors are not married. So, but they're still happy, right? They're still fulfilling purpose. They're trusting the process. They're waiting for the process. Because even, in the process, God still got you. So, I have another book that's coming out. If you want to, let's talk about it.
Okay, I just want to comment on that. Yes, I'm married, but I didn't talk about that because specifically my chapter, I was talking about dating, and the end goal for me, it wasn't necessarily marriage, it was finding who I am. Mm-hmm. And but before you get married, like as Ms. Ann said, you have to be whole. You have to know who you are in God, and you have to be comfortable with who you are before you even step into that role. And you have to also be comfortable with the fact that you may not get married. Mm-hmm. Because before I became married, I came to a point where it is what it is. Like the last person I was talking to, because we weren't even dating, it was just talking again. I was like, you know what? I need to stop doing this. Like I need to stop opening myself up to people, to guys that, does not have the best for me and not who God says I am. And I was like, you know what? If I don't get married, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be comfortable with the fact that I may not be married. And I'm just going to listen to what God is saying and find who I am in God. And I'm still finding out who I am in God. Like, I'm not completely, fully healed from all of the stuff that I have been through. But I know that writing this chapter was the first step, one of the first steps for me to completely be healed from what I've been through and what I saw. So again, to answer the question, if this book specifically is about dating, and then some people talk about getting married or, being married. But in my chapter, I didn't really focus on the marriage part. Because I'm married. Yeah, that's, all good and dandy. But I still need to know who God is saying I am.
That's right.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead, girl.
Just add, I believe it was you who was saying about if you have a story, you need to share it. I want to just say something really quickly. I remember when Oprah Winfrey opened a school in Africa, a lot of critics were saying, well, why are you opening up a school in Africa, as if that was a problem. She says anybody who wants to open up a school in America, they have that option. So here, as we are listening to these stories, this is only their story. There are so many millions of other stories, so there will be other opportunities for other different types of stories to be told as well. I can remember whenever I first was separated, I wasn't thinking about it, man. I spent 20 years, and a lot of men like to say ball and chain. I spent 20 years of my life giving all my all to a man. So whenever I separate from that, I didn't care if I ever seen another man. So with that being said, everybody's not in the waiting game or looking, hey, pick me. I wasn't even in it like that. I was like, let me focus on my relationship with God. I think that's one of the things that Nicolette pointed out. Our relationship with God will make us comfortable with whatever our status is, whether it's single, married, dating, maybe, it won't even matter. I'm good because I'm good with God. So I can remember whenever my daughter, who is in, I know I'm going to put her on the spot, she's actually working on their project, the anthology that they're working on with the teens. And the reason I linked her with her, Lavette and her team, is because I know she's a woman of God. And I know our relationship over the few years, I know she's seriously a woman of God. So I'm going to have my daughter working on anybody's project instead of trying to mold my daughter to do it the way I want to do it. I'm going to put you with a team that I know is going to work on you and help you tell your story without my hands in it. Because I can tell another, don't say that. So I didn't want to have that experience. I want to have an experience where she can grow under somebody I trust. Literally, I'm doing it for myself. I wrote 2 books, so I didn't have to say, oh, I didn't have to, but because I trust her, that's the reason why I'm allowing my daughter to be under her umbrella. So I just want to say one thing in closing, and please stop me if it goes over 30 seconds, I can talk. What I will say is that she made a point to mention the assignment. We all have an assignment. I may have never been touched by a man or my father or my uncle or somebody, but there are children who were molested. A lot of women held on to their story. It was a coach who touched us. And how many coaches have touched several generations of girls because somebody didn't tell their story? So the truth about the matter is God doesn't want us holding our tongue. We have to speak our truth. Unfortunately, it might make you look bad, but I'm releasing myself from this. How many young girls have stayed trapped because they didn't open their mouth? So writing is a way of letting it out, releasing it, because God tells us to share our testimonies. It's not because I'm going to bring shame to you, it's because God told me to, this is my assignment. I don't know why God allowed this to happen, I don't know why it happened, but it happened. Now that I'm healed from this, I have to share, because sister, you need to know how to heal from this too. Let's refer to these scriptures, let's go to these places where we're going to be healed from the things that we went through. A lot of women are holding their stories, and it's a problem. So we don't get to hear the other versions of the stories. We don't get to hear the good stories about dads, because everybody's having a miserable dad experience. But I didn't have a miserable dad experience. Can I share my story too? So with that being said, millions of stories have been told. So let us understand and respect everybody else's lane. And I'm not saying anything about anybody in particular, but I'm just saying there's millions of stories. Like Oprah said, if you want to do it, you got the option to do it any way you want to do it.
But I can add to that. Toni Morrison always says, that's one of my favorite authors. Toni Morrison always says, if there's a book that you want to read, you got it right there.
That's it right there. Yeah.
I want to have words from our fitness expert in the class, from our fitness expert.
We decided to bring him on because Tyrone is the brother of Kelly. And Kelly she's got it going on, you know. So let me just say, she shares a lot about the diets that her brother have him on. She's always in the gym. She has a lot of energy. She's an amazing inspiration. She inspires me, So we decided to bring Tyrone. Another thing is that as women, and men too, we desire to have a mate, right? But don't ask God for a mate if you all wrote it down. Nobody wants to take care of you physically.
She left him at a detour.
You know, people you've lost over the years, especially through the pandemic. And if you're alive today and you survived this pandemic, you were doing something right. It might have been 25%, 10% right, but you're still here. And a fact is, the best way to stay alive is to stay healthy. Okay? Getting back to what I said in the first session, we all neglect health. Is there anyone here dealing with any health issues? You can raise your hands, it doesn't matter.
I think all of us after the pandemic. All of us raise your hand. Mental, emotional issues.
Now, my job as a trainer is to make you love me and to make you hate me. Because I want to make you do things you don't want to do. But I want to make you do things that you need to do if you want to survive the next 10, 20, 30 years. We can't neglect bad diets, right? We can't just act like nothing is happening, everything is going great, our journey is fine. And then in the end, not even the end, you're going to die early. Because you focus on everything except you. Now we're talking about love and self-love. If you don't love yourself first, God first, through you, you're not going to survive. Right? You're going to have diabetes issues, cancer, and a lot of this stuff could be avoided if you focus on diet. And one of my things I like doing is intermittent fasting. Right? That's where you're going to learn to give up a lot of the foods you eat. But you deal with it in moderation. No, I had an uncle who would be alive today if he would have known that. Father, mother, everything. I've had death from cancer, death from diabetes, right? Death from heart disease. And they all didn't want to control, eat food in moderation. Right? We talk about the Bible, it's always moderation. You can say one thing, but as a trainer, I have to look at you and assess what's going on. I have to say, look at you. If you can't bend down and pick up a quarter you drop, something is wrong, right? If you can't walk up a flight of stairs without holding on, something is wrong. You gotta be true to yourself, right? So that's where the hate part comes in me, because if I see value in you, which I see value in everyone, I gotta talk about that. Don't get emotional, don't get anything. Just deal with the issue. My background is a Marine, so my thing is to get things done. All right? Now, I don't talk about age, but I'll be 70 soon.
Whoa. Wow.
That's important for y'all to know.
1 year ago, I'll be 70. My goal, and I'm thinking as a visionary, is to break the world record for 200 meters at 96. So at 96, I gotta stay in shape now, so when that day comes, I go to England to break it, I thought way in advance. All of you can be the best that you can be at this point in your life. It's not, well, I'm old, I'm 96, I'm 86, whatever. You can be the best 96, 80, 76-year-old that you can at this moment right now. But you gotta focus on health. All right? Don't block. When I leave here, I know most of you are just forget about it and go about your bad diets, eating.
Boy, he throwing a guilt trip on folks up in here.
So the car's getting ready to run over, you can move out of the way. Right? The mind is willing, but the body says, I don't know what's going on. Okay? All of that you can work on now, and that's what I do as a trainer. Okay?
Thank you so much. But we got, he's giving away a packet in the first section. The second section, he's giving away a packet.
On the floor.
Oh, it's on the floor.
It's blue. Look back, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So, you got the first person that, signed up for the second section.
Tiffany Reed.
She's not here. Okay. Yeah.